Yo, what's up, everyone? If you've been hunting for something fresh to sink your time into, you already know the mobile market is absolutely flooded right now with a mix of hidden gems and total duds. I've spent the last few days grinding through a massive pile of new releases to see which ones actually deliver on the hype and which ones aren't even worth the storage space. From massive open worlds that'll push your hardware to the limit to some of the most addictive indie projects I've seen in a minute, I'm breaking down my top 20 picks. Stick around because we're counting them all the way down to the absolute best game you need on your phone right now. Starting things off at number 20, we've got JJ Racing. It's a fun, chaotic spin on the Jetpack Joyride universe that moves the action into real-time multiplayer racing. It's got that classic vibrant art style and smooth animations we're used to, but it lands here because the gameplay feels a bit repetitive compared to the bigger titles on this list. It's a solid time killer for a quick competitive fix, but we've got much heavier hitters coming up next. At number 19, we have School Life Anime Simulator. If you're into social sims, this one lets you explore a decent-sized campus and mess around with different activities. The anime aesthetic is definitely there, but it sits low on the list because the controls can feel a bit stiff, and the world feels a little empty once the initial novelty wears off. It's worth a look if you're a die-hard fan of the genre, but there are way more polished experiences ahead. Coming in at number 18 is Runner's Sector 13. This one drops you into a dark, dystopian hospital where you're basically running for your life through corridors filled with mystery and danger. It's got a solid atmosphere for an offline runner, and the pressure really ramps up as you try to survive the nightmare facility. It ranks here because while the setting is unique, the core loop is something we've seen quite a bit. Still, if you want a survival game that tests your reflexes without needing a data connection, it's a great pick to have on your phone. At number 17, we have Pavement Surfer. This is a 3D arcade skateboarding game that feels like a classic throwback. You're riding through city skylines and concrete ditches, pulling off tricks and trying to keep your flow going. The graphics are clean, and the physics-based jumps give it a satisfying weight. It sits at 17 because while the skate and collect loop is addictive, it doesn't quite have the massive scale of the top-tier titles. It's a great pick for those quick, high-score sessions when you just want to vibe and shred. At number 16, we've got Cars Royale. This is a fast-paced car combat game that mixes traditional racing with arena-style brawling. It's got a few different modes like car soccer and a survival bomb mode, which keeps the variety high. It lands here because while the chaos is a blast, the graphics and physics can feel a bit unpolished compared to the bigger racing titles coming up. Still, if you're looking for a low-stakes, action-heavy game to play with friends, this is a solid choice. At number 15, we have Splat 2. This one is a colorful, fast-paced shooter that clearly takes inspiration from the ink-splatting mechanics of Splatoon. You're running through different stages, blasting enemies with neon paint, and using unique characters to navigate the chaos. It's got a very satisfying roguelite feel to it, where you can unlock new skills and heroes as you go. It lands at 15 because while the gameplay is super addictive and looks great, it's more of a focused arcade experience compared to the massive worlds we're about to see. It's a perfect pick if you want something vibrant and high energy for short play sessions. At number 14, we've got Crash Test Simulator 3. This is a physics-heavy playground that is all about one thing: absolute car destruction. It features a solid soft body deformation system where parts fly off, tires detach, and the vehicles realistically crumple based on how you hit them. There's even a time dilation feature so you can watch your most epic wrecks in slow motion. It ranks here because while the physics and attention to detail are top-notch for a mobile sim, it's more of a sandbox experience than a full game with deep progression. If you find smashing cars satisfying, you'll spend hours in this one. At number 13, we've got Off-Road Snow Driving Runner. This is a hardcore driving simulator that's all about fighting against nature. You're navigating powerful 4x4s and trucks through deep snow, frozen rivers, and thick mud, where every meter is a struggle. What's cool is the realism. You actually have to manage your fuel, use a winch to pull yourself out of mud pits, and even get out of the vehicle to plan your route. It lands at 13 because the pacing is definitely slower. It's more about strategy and patience than speed. But if you love technical driving games that feel like a battle, this one is a beast.
Guys, shall we play football in Gym Plus?
Why not?
At number 12, we're looking at Escape from School. This is a first-person horror puzzle game that's all about that tense, creepy atmosphere. You're trapped in a dark, abandoned school building and have to find items and solve environmental riddles to get out, while something is hunting you. The jump scares are pretty effective, and the puzzles actually require some brain power to solve. It sits at 12 because while it nails the tension, the graphics are a bit dated compared to the modern horror hits, but it's still a great choice if you want a quick thrill. At number 11, we have Modern Artillery Strike. This one's for the players who love a more tactical, heavy-hitting military experience. Instead of just running and gunning, you're managing long-range firepower, calculating trajectories, and taking out high-value targets from a distance. The sound design is punchy, and there's a real sense of impact when your shots land. It sits just outside the top 10 because while the mechanics are solid, it's a bit more specialized than the broader action titles coming up. If you like slow burn strategy and explosive power, you'll definitely want to check this one out. Coming in at number 10 is Slicktires. This is a top-down arcade-style racer that is all about the art of the drift. It's got a really cool minimalist aesthetic and the controls are super tight, making it incredibly satisfying once you find your rhythm on the track. There are plenty of cars to unlock and tracks that'll really test your precision. It cracks the top 10 because it's easy to pick up but tough to master, offering that just one more go vibe that every great mobile game needs. If you're a fan of old school racers with a modern polish, this is a must download. Coming in at number 9 is Tales of Mecha Rising. It's a fantasy MMORPG where you pilot giant arcane mechas to take down massive world bosses. The anime art style is gorgeous and the mech customization is surprisingly deep. It lands here because while the scale of the fights is epic, it can get a bit grindy for solo players. If you love mechs and big boss battles, definitely give this one a look. At number 8, we've got Ariel_Knight's DropShot. This is a fast-paced, stylish runner that feels like it's straight out of a futuristic comic book. The movement is all about flow, sliding, jumping, and dashing through obstacles to a killer soundtrack. It's got a very unique vibe and feels more like a playable music video than a standard runner. It ranks this high because the art style is incredibly cool and the gameplay is super smooth, making it one of the most stylish titles you can have on your phone right now. At number 7, we've got Kuroko's Basketball Street Rivals. This is a high-energy 3v3 real-time basketball game that fully captures the superpower vibe of the anime. You get to control iconic players and pull off their signature moves, like Kuroko's Vanishing Drive or Kagami's insane dunks, with some seriously flashy animations. It features a solid story mode and competitive ranked matches that'll keep you coming back for more. It ranks this high because the gameplay feels incredibly smooth and faithful to the source material, though the server lag can be a bit of a headache at times. If you're a fan of sports anime or just want a basketball game that's more about action than realism, this is the one to beat. At number 6, we have Ace Force Blitz, a high-octane aerial combat simulator that packs massive dogfighting intensity into a surprisingly lightweight package. Perfect for quick sessions, this title lets you pilot legendary modern jets like the F-22 in competitive 1v1 or 2v2 PvP duels, where split-second maneuvers and tactical flares are the difference between victory and a crash. It earns its spot at number 6 by delivering crisp graphics and smooth flight physics that run beautifully even on mid-range devices, proving you don't need a massive download to dominate the skies.
The first kill is here!
At number 5, we have Arena Blast, a high-octane hero shooter that delivers intense 3v3 and 5v5 skirmishes within vibrant, neon-soaked futuristic arenas. The game stands out for its incredible optimization and tight, responsive controls, allowing you to master complex ability combos and tactical team plays without the lag found in heavier titles. It claims the number 5 spot because it perfectly balances AAA production value with a polished, accessible experience that feels competitive and fresh for every session. At number 4, we have Gumslinger 2, Ducks and Nukes, the wildly creative sequel to the quirky physics-based Duelist. This game takes the original's jelly physics gunplay and cranks it up with even more bizarre weapons and power-ups, featuring a hilarious mix of rubbery gummies and explosive chaos. It earns this high ranking because of its unique, skill-based combat and satisfyingly weird progression system, proving that a game doesn't need to be serious to be one of the most addictive experiences on your phone. At number 3, we have Cassette Beasts, a console-quality open-world RPG that reimagines the monster-catching genre with a nostalgic, retro-tech twist. Instead of capturing creatures in balls, you use cassette tapes to record their essence, allowing you to transform into them for turn-based battles on the mysterious island of New World. What secures its spot in the top 3 is the innovative fusion system, which lets you combine any 2 of the 140-plus monsters to create thousands of unique, fully animated forms. It's a deep, premium experience with a killer soundtrack and a meaningful story, making it a must-play for fans who want a mature and creative alternative to traditional creature collectors.
This is the farthest that I can take you on company space bucks, Robin. You're sure you want this? The research is in everything.
At number 2, we have Subnautica Below Zero, the massive survival sequel that finally surfaced on mobile in March 2026. This port, handled by Prodigious, brings the full PC and console experience to your phone, complete with a revamped touch interface and stunning underwater visuals. You're tasked with surviving the freezing depths of planet 4546b while investigating your sister's disappearance, all while managing your oxygen, body temperature, and the terrifying shadow leviathans. It earns the runner-up spot because it is a technical masterpiece, a deep, open-world AAA survival game that fits in your pocket without sacrificing the atmosphere or complexity of the original. At number 1, we have Sea of Stars, the critically acclaimed turn-based RPG that has finally made its way to mobile as a complete, premium experience. Inspired by the classics of the 90s, it tells the story of 2 children of the solstice who combine the powers of the sun and moon to perform powerful eclipse magic. It takes the top spot because it is a flawless masterpiece, featuring stunning pixel art, a world-class soundtrack, and a combat system that rewards timing and strategy without ever feeling like a grind. This isn't just a great mobile game, it's one of the greatest RPGs of the decade, making it the definitive number 1 title you need to play in 2026. That wraps up our top 20 list. Putting these videos together takes a lot of time and effort to research and capture, so if you enjoyed the content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps out. If you want to see more videos like this and discover your next favorite game, be sure to check out the rest of the Tap Rank channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.